Welcome. First of all, my name is Chris. I'm from the Aalto Fablab. I'm also the lab manager over there, and I'm going to be the main teacher of this course, and also the Fab Academy instructor for the official Fab Academy students. So this year, it's the first year when the digital fabrication set of courses is happening as an overlay for the official Fab Academy. So if you don't know what is Fab Academy, just don't worry. I'm going to tell it along the way. Um, yeah. So today, so since you have 1 hour, I just wanted to briefly tell about what is Fab Academy. So what is this course overlay? So I introduced myself briefly. Maybe I can tell more, maybe not, but it would be good that Matti would tell about himself. And then there's a researcher, Bonnie, who's joining from University of Potsdam, and she would like to find out more about your motivation. She's going to introduce herself. So your motivations joining the course and what are your expectations and so on. And then I would like you to briefly introduce yourselves. Yeah, so then I would like to show you also the lab where it's the main lab where it's going to take place. And then the pages which are relevant to the course and the schedule next week. So it's just going to be a bit different than the one that you see in the My Courses page and in Odi. But the purpose of it is just to get you going as soon as possible. So it's going to be a critical week. So about the Fab Academy. So the tagline of Fab Academy is learn to make almost anything. So it used to be how to make almost anything, but then this year there was a decision to make it a bit more inviting, so that's kind of offering you to learn to make almost anything. So which is possible with the digital fabrication machinery that we have these days. So the digital fabrication machinery, it used to be accessible only to those who have a engineering education background, and not so much to people outside these engineering units in universities and companies. And for a few decades now, the technology for digital fabrication is becoming more and more accessible. Uh, the patents are expiring, thus more companies are starting to produce 3D printers and CNC machines or numerical control machines that can be purchased by regular people like us. And the course is basically about how to make use of this technology to make not anything yet, but almost anything, or at least cover the basics of it. So this is a quote from the website. The Fab Academy is a fast-paced, hands-on learning experience where students learn rapid prototyping by planning and executing a new project each week, resulting in a personal portfolio of technical accomplishments. So which means that every week we're going to do something, and that something will have to be documented as well in a personal website. And then after the course, you'll be able to use this website as sort of a personal portfolio with technical things that you accomplished. And if you want to know more about the Fab Academy, you can follow this link. I'm going to share the slides later on my courses pages and also on the other pages that are relevant to this course. And about the course. So this why this year is special, because so there are several universities, like a dozen of universities around the world, who are trying to make this course as an academic overlay in their universities. And in collaboration with the Aalto University and Aalto Media Lab and Matti Niinimäki, we managed to design 4 courses that would overlap Fab Academy. And here you can see the structure. So these courses are necessary for you to be able to join the Fab Academy partly for free. So it's kind of the full thing, but not yet, as you don't get the full diploma. So, but about that later. So, but these courses are necessary for you to be able to get credits, academic credits. And the structure is as follows. So the digital fabrication 1, 2, and 3 courses, they are going to overlap the Fab Academy assignments. So they're going to be 18 weekly assignments with each of them will have a lecture, a global lecture and a local lecture, and then also something to do at the lab, except the first weeks. And then the digital fabrication studio course is, it's a course that is supposed to be for you to cover the time that you spend working on your final project. So Fab Academy is 18 weeks with assignments, 18 topical weeks about assignments around digital fabrication and course related things. And then Digital Fabrication Studio, the final project, is what you do in parallel. So it's where you use these skills acquired during the assignments, individual assignments, where you apply the technical skills and you produce something that you can present at the end of the course. And with this in mind, it's important for me to also understand whether you understand that you should join the rest of the courses. So unfortunately, it is not possible to join all of these three, so digital fabrication 1, 2, and 3 at the same time. So you'll have to register for the digital fabrication 2 and 3 a little bit later when the course registration opens, before the course starts. It doesn't apply to the official Fab Academy students. So you joined, and you'll be able to follow the course without this. And the same goes also for people so the students who understand that they should join these three, who are intending to join these three. I need to know, so I need to also add you to the Digital Fabrication Studio course, so that you can get all the credits that you are supposed to get with a set of these courses. So altogether, these are up 21 to 27 credits. So for Digital Fabrication 1, you get 6. The second one 6 as well. The third one 6, and then for the Digital Fabrication Studio, you get 3 to 9 credits. So if you do well with your final project, then you get all the 9 credits. Yeah, and now I would like you to introduce yourselves. So as I told you, I'm Chris. I'm the lab manager at the Aalto Fablab and the Fab Academy instructor for this course. And I'm going to be organizing the lectures and providing you the links for the global lectures and for the local lectures as well. And I have been a student at the Aalto Media Lab several years ago, and I graduated with my master thesis about making an open source projection mapping software that runs on the Raspberry Pi mini computer. Then after that, I spent a few years in Berlin as an intern and at the Fablab Berlin. And then later also I've been working there for a few years. And then after that, I went to Barcelona to do the Fab Academy myself. And then after that, I came here to take the challenge of manage the Aalto Fab Lab and do the Fab Academy related things here. But yeah, so that's about me. How about Matti?
Yeah, sure. Hey, I'm Matti. I know quite many of you, but not all. And I'm here. I'm a lecturer at the New Media program in Aalto Arts, and yeah, these courses are sort of under the New Media MA program, and I'm kind of like here just to help with that sort of the integration to the actual university studies. And also I'm available for tutoring if you need help. I work a lot with digital fabrication tools for many years, and things kind of like related to this sort of new craftsmanship, I would say, with combining digital tools and then manually working with your hands. And on the Mondays, that kind of like is officially in the the course schedule for the Digital Fabrication Studio. I reserved kind of the Mondays for my sort of open office for if you need to talk about your project, for example, or if you need any help with something or whatever you want to discuss. So I'll send a link later to that, like how you can reach me. But I'll also be around for not probably all of these sort of the lectures of the Fab Academy itself, but quite many of them, I think. But more so from the Media Lab side of Aalto.
Thank you. Then Bonnie, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Just a second. All right, so I'm a first year engineering student, but I have been making like digital fabrication with 3D printers for like 3 years or something. And now actually last year I started printing these Corona door openers and selling them around with my own 3D printers. But that's basically all the experience I have with this. I've been using Fusion 360 to model my own models and stuff like that, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Thank you, Oni. I was actually calling for Bonnie, but she's not there. But she's going to be there next week to tell a bit more about the research side of this. Yeah, and I actually wanted to start with the official Fab Academy students. So there are two continuing students, which is Solomon and Ranjit, and a new student, which is Kittia. So maybe we could start with Solomon. Solomon, you're muted.
Well, all right. My name is Solomon. I'm a fabrication specialist. I've been working in the Fablab since 2015. I'm a partner with Chris, and I'm taking the Fab Academy course again for the second time. So I understand the challenge, but I could also be helpful in like showing you around the lab, and also like if there is some extra needs that you need like to quickly get started. And I'm really excited to see how this winter is gonna turn out. So great.
Thank you, Solomon. Can you mute also before we continue? Great. So, and Ranjit, how about you introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Ranjit. I used to study in the Media Lab like Chris and you guys, some of you guys. And I am just needing to finish my final project and a couple of assignments from last year. And me and Chris and a couple of other people were involved in one interesting project that used Fablab resources to make these sort of like digitally fabricatable COVID furniture. You will probably see the stuff we had built within the Fablab premises when you visit. But yeah, I'll be on and off trying to finish the pending assignments from the last year. So hope to see you guys.
Great. Thank you, Ranjit. Kittia, could you introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hey, everyone. My name is Kittia, and I am from Latvia. It's only 40 minutes flight away from Finland. I work at Science and Education Innovation Center of City Liepāja. Every day I help pupils and teachers to learn how to use educational technology. I have experience and skills in building robots such as Mindstorms, Edison, Microbits, and others, as well as programming them in visual programming languages. First reason of my motivation to join Fab Academy is that with my employer, we plan to open a Fab Lab in Latvia, in city Liepāja, and in future become a node of Fab Lab Foundation community. The second reason why I am here is that I want to increase my knowledge and skills in technical field. I want to be able to make almost anything. And the third reason, improve my English. Maybe now it sounds normal, but it's because I prepared to answer these questions. And yeah, basically that's all about me.
Thank you, Kitty. That was very good. And now we can move to other students. So Onni already introduced himself. So here in the list, I see that there's Dan. Dan, you told that you are not joining the course officially, but you wanted to join the lectures. But anyhow, you could maybe say a few words about yourself.
What, is that me?
No, so sorry. I think Dan Hopkins. Yeah, so no, you are joining. It was Darren. I think it was Darren.
All right.
Okay. So okay, but let's start with the Dan. So Dan Hopkins, the stage is yours.
Hi, my name is Dan. I guess we have a Dan, a Darren, and a Dinan, looks like. So that's interesting. I'm not 100% sure that I'll be able to stick with it. I'm supposed to start my thesis, but I don't have a topic yet. So if that situation holds, then hopefully I'll be able to keep going with Fab Academy. I really, really want to get better at using all the tools, and I have a couple projects in mind, so it would be a lot of fun to be able to stick with it. I'm an Aalto master's student doing machine learning and data science. And yeah, I just have a thesis left in that program. So I'm not really sure what happens next, but hopefully I can stick with this.
Thank you, Dan. Your full name is Daniel, right?
Yes. Yeah, either one is fine.
So let's continue with Dan Menzach.
All right. Yeah, this is the first time there has been two Dans in any course I have ever been in. So this is an interesting moment for me, big moment. Yeah, so also to make it more confusing, I am also a master's student in Aalto studying machine learning. Although under a different program, I guess. I'm under life science technologies. I am also a student in Matti's program, New Media Design and Production. So I figured since I didn't get my first master's degree done yet, might as well take a second one, and that'll definitely help. I've done a bunch of CAD stuff before in all the courses and for my own projects. A bit of like Arduino, Raspberry Pi stuff, obviously like stronger on the programming side and beginner on the electronic side. And technically I did study mechanical engineering for 2 years, so I'm supposed to know something about it, but I really don't.
Oh, wait, that was it?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Next, Hannu Ikola, are you there?
Yes, hello. Hi, I'm Hannu. I'm a second year student in Sound and New Media. And before studies, I worked in Audi in digital team, which is running the kind of like a small version of Fablab there as well. But it's quite on entry-level stuff still, like mostly 3D printing and some laser cutting and simple electronics and this kind of stuff. So Yeah, but I would like to learn more about that stuff.
All right, that sounds interesting. I would like to kind of collaborate with the OD library a bit more, but yeah, unfortunately now because of the pandemic, it's not so open. So there were some leads, and we are discussing it also with Solomon how to proceed with that. But yeah, maybe later after everybody's gonna get their vaccine. Hey, but next, Darren.
Yeah, hi. So my name is Darren. I'm part of the Collaborative and Industrial Masters program. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be taking part in the course, but I just thought I'd listen in and hear what the course is about. I'm interested in the digital fabrication side of trying to make anything. And so I'm still building up knowledge about how to use hardware components in that. So hopefully I'll have a better chance to take it next year, because I'm also currently working for Aalto Startup Center at the minute. So working part-time, and next year I'll have more time hopefully to do the full course.
All right, thank you, Darren. And next on the list is Eero Pitkänen. Are you there?
Hi. I'm on the started same time with Dan. But visual designer.
Can you turn your camera on?
Oh, is it not on?
It's on.
I know it's on. It's on. Yeah, it's just me. I am
weird.
Still, after a few years of Zoom usage, trying to get familiar with the software.
Yeah. So my background is visual design and animation, and I've moved a bit more to software development in the past 5 years, and I attended electronics for artists and got really into like playing around with microcontrollers and stuff, and it's actually good that I had the video on. Dan just sent me a message and about my mic holder. This, like most of my stuff I have done is like this, whether it's soldering and stuff. So what I'm looking into from this course is maybe to like how to build things properly. Like I can now do the like ideation and prototyping fun stuff, but I want to like be able to build something a bit more lasting.
All right, that sounds good. I think you're in the right place. So thank you, Eero. So how about Ekaterina?
Oh, hi. Yeah, actually, I go by Katya because Ekaterina is just my passport name. I'm a doctoral student at Aalto, and I'm doing natural language processing research. I've done some stuff in this like UWAS course for technologies in fashion. So it's kind of like related to Fablab, and it was super exciting. And yeah, I think like Aero, I just wanna, like sometimes you have something that you can't buy and you just want to make it. And I think it's easier with digital fabrication than with, I don't know, like straw and clay. Yeah, so that's my motivation.
Okay, yeah, the course is going to be pretty much more than that. So I really hope that all of you are going to be able to follow. It's going to be hard, but it's going to be fun, I promise. Okay, so how about Dinan? Are you there?
Yes, hi, I'm Dinan from New Media Design and Production, and same with Aero and Dan. I took the Electronics for Artists course with Matti last period and found it quite interesting and kind of want to dive deeper into this field and maybe have more hands-on experience with those machines such as laser cutter or 3D printers. yeah, that's why I'm taking this course.
All right, thank you, Dinan. How about Markku? Markku Porvari, are you there?
Yep, I am. Thank you. Hi, I'm Markku, and I'm for sure the most senior participant of this course. And well, I was starting at University of Technology in 1978, I presume. But then I stopped, and now I'm finally back and in my studies, and I studied mechanical engineering, and for now what I'm really going to do, it's a little bit unclear. So, but anyway, I have several 3D printers myself, but then the interest a little bit sacked, and now my interests are more in Raspberry Pi leading path, because then after Unix and Python there comes IoT and robotics and machine learning. So almost everything you can do with from the Raspberry Pi path. And my interest, besides participating in this course, is to get the knowledge, to find out something which we could, or I could then plan to have a startup idea to importing education to the Finnish schools, the K-12 and vocational schools. So that's my main plan or vision or illusion. Let's see.
All right, that sounds very interesting. So Marco was also one of the people who joined several of the Fab Academy Thursday events that we were organizing the previous years. So I'm very happy to see you here.
Can I ask a quick question, Marco? You said you want to come up with educational ideas for K-12 schools involving using digital fabrication?
Digital fabrication, and okay, the project name would be Skills to the Future. So general stuff which those teachers can't of the STEM environment, let's call it so, not STEAM, STEM. So how to get STEM education more in the schools, and that must be some kind of digital education style, because the teachers don't have enough knowledge, and somehow it isn't just a bunch of Udemy-like courses, so it's kind of flip education, and there my main problem is that I don't have any co-founders or team members at all, and I'm looking for mainly mostly teachers, so that it would somehow use. We have here in Finland educational, let's say, standard Educational Alliance Finland, which has a framework how those educational lessons, courses, or whatever products they are, gaming or so, should be most educational to the students, so that they are not just courses for courses' sakes, so that they have a curated wholeness.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, that's interesting.
Marco, it's nice to see you again. Also, like I remember you from the open days that you have been coming to the Fablab maybe for 5-6 years back. So yeah, nice to see you again.
The timing wasn't then appropriate for me, because I had my own event of a totally different style, but that was only on Thursdays, and in the beginning there was something that the course should be not on Thursdays, but we don't go there now. I'm back. That's enough.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, there has been like a there and back with all these small events that I've been organizing during the past 2 years. But yeah.
And may I say one thing that that could be
Sure.
if, later on, if I could make some kind of deal with, let's say, for example, Helsinki City, that you could have a school Fablab or something like that in that sense, like Kitia is doing now in Latvia. That, but first I have to collect the main information of myself, even though I wouldn't be the guy who would teach everything. But anyway, somebody has to know something from everything.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a great idea. We just need to map it out a bit more carefully because so me and Solomon at the lab, we've been talking about the possibilities to somehow get involved in bigger projects. So we can keep this in mind and keep discussing in a structured way. I think we could just make like a separate
yeah, great, yeah,
during as the course goes. Okay, thank you, Markku. So Annu Eriksson already told about himself, so thank you, Anni. And there's another Dan. We have 3 Dans. So Daniel Villenius, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. My name is Daniel, and I'm really interested in this course because one of my favorite courses in the autumn was a course called Sähköpaja, where we did an electronics project and got to use 3D printers and stuff. So I'm excited about expanding my knowledge in all these sort of things.
And maybe you can tell more about what is the program? Where are you currently studying?
Studying automatio, yeah, informaatioteknologia, and I'm a Fuxi, so first year student.
All right. It's interesting to way back in Latvia. We also like the first year students. We call them Fuxi as well, and then the first party is like the Fuxubal. Yeah, I think that the tradition still exists, but yeah, it doesn't seem as colorful or like standardized in terms of the costumes as here, but it's still a tradition. Okay, thank you, Daniel. And now Russian Woo, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Could you hear me? Nice. Okay, so hello guys. As you can see, my name is Russian. It's a little bit weird because my Chinese name is Russian, and I like my name in Russian that my father gave me. He say, "Oh, it's pretty good for you because it's really similar with the Chinese name. So just call me Russian freely." And I'm from Taiwan, and I'm an exchange student to Aalto, and I previously studied in Germany in the Bauhaus University media architecture program. And so this program's name is somehow like confusing everyone. Everybody will ask me, what is this? So basically we building some different project for the both in between the media architecture that's somehow we have the sustainability or some social problem for the discrimination, this kind of stuff. And we build in the exhibition to present that or solving that. So based on the need of this program, I need some skill to do the prototype a lot. And I think digital fabrication can help me a lot on it. And in previous, I have built something with Arduino. So yes, I hope I can learn more in the digital fabrication. And this was my first week in the Expo, and it's freezing outside, and it's crazy that I never seen that much snow in my life. And also for the blizzard, oh, that's crazy. and looking forward to working on this project. Thank you.
Thank you, Roshan. I'm glad to see that that everything worked well for
Yes,
you, that you
yes.
have a place to stay.
Yeah.
In this weather.
Fortunately,
That's quite important.
I don't need to like find a new place by myself in this kind of weather and like find the furniture by myself. That would be too crazy.
Okay, really good. Good to know that. Hey, is there somebody who didn't introduce himself or herself? Because I have my list, but I am not sure whether I updated it fully with the Audi list. Nobody. Okay, so that means that we can continue with the slides. So yeah, so there was the student introductions, and I wanted to show you the 360 tour of the lab where it's going to happen. So the 360 pictures, they are 6 months old. So there are some things that have changed. And so here you can also see how does it look like during the summer. So you see we have like a nice community garden here. So this is all managed by students. You can get like a little piece of land in order to grow your own things. There's a pond. There are some other buildings over there. So here on the left side, there's the set design workshop, so including woodworking and metalworking facilities that if you really need to, you could get introduced to those as well. Then here you see there's the lab on the first floor, so Aalto Fablab here. And on top of that, there is, so on the floor above it, there is a textile design, textile workshop. Yeah, so there are sewing machines. There's a heat press that you're actually welcome and encouraged to use during the computer controlled cutting week in order to make your own t-shirts. Each of these workshops has a workshop master or view of those. The textile design workshop has one. Her name is Johanna. And actually, I'm probably going to organize another session where I could introduce you to them and they could tell more about what is possible in their facilities. And then in the set design workshop, so you can meet Yuri, Pasi, and Yami, and they are the guys who are responsible for the equipment there and organizing health and safety workshops. And in this building, in general, there are a lot of interesting things going on. So there's a VR studio, there's a sound recording studio, sound editing studio. So sound recording studio meaning that you can record sounds for movies, so as they do. So I've been in this room only once, but it was very interesting in terms that they have shelves that are full of different objects and all kinds of microphones and all kinds of covers or materials that you can cover the floor with in order to get the right sound of the steps. Let's say you can imitate steps in the forest and you can imitate steps on a 5-story concrete building and so on. There is also takeout, which is packed with all kinds of hardware equipment that is more related to making movies. So to cinematic cameras and microphones and lights, and things like those. Did I miss something? Yeah, VR studio I mentioned. Yeah, but let's go into the Fab Lab. So here, that's Elliot. That's our previous Sivari, so he was here for a year. He was a very talented designer, meaning he was just out of high school, but he picked up everything around Fablab really quickly. And this is the other guy. Yeah, this is the main room. And if this wouldn't be a pandemic situation and we wouldn't be running this lecture online, then most of you would be sitting around this table and looking at a screen which would be here. So there's this bar over here that you can pull down and it converts into a screen. So there's like extra seating here. So mostly you're encouraged to use this space for assembly. So when you have all kinds of 3D printed parts and laser cut parts that you can put them together over here. Here, there is a door to a small wood workshop where you can post-process your CNC cuts and 3D printed things. And, so it's packed with hand tools and power tools. Then there's a door which leads to the machine room, which is full with 3D printers, laser cutter, and the CNC machine is also there. And yeah, behind this wall over there, there's the electronics part of the workshop. But I usually start to introduce people with the lab from the perspective of the machines. So starting from the simplest machine, which is the vinyl cutter. I can't really zoom in much here, but yeah, see, here's where the vinyl cutter is located. I'm gonna tell more about each of the individual machines during the actual assignment weeks. So there's gonna be computer controlled cutting week, and this is where I'm gonna tell more about vinyl cutting and laser cutting. And here we have a 4K monitor corner where you can try out boards such as the Raspberry Pi 4 or the Core what was that? UpCore, yeah, UpCore computer. So there's also something that is that has 4K enabled. So these single board computers, which provide you with 4K output, so you can really, so you can test those, or you can just use the 4K monitor. But yeah, I actually borrowed it. It's actually right in front of me at the moment at home for home office needs. And then just next to it is a 3D scanning station. So we have an Arctic EVA scanner, and we are using Arctic Studio here. I found a way how to use the Intel RealSense, the 300 and was it what 435? I'm really confused by these numbers, but yes, one of the RealSense cameras. So there's an upcoming solution to that as well. So this is what we are going to do during the upcoming 3D scanning and printing week. And here we have a few CAD stations, a few computers that you can use in order to work on your designs at the lab. Usually when you arrive at the lab, you're more or less expected to know what you are going to do, but it sometimes happens that your 3D model needs adjustments, or you are doing a few quick iterations and you're doing a measurement and you want to adjust something in your design. So you could use Fusion 360 and other installed software over here on these computers in order to adjust your designs. So this messy table is usually where I sit during the lectures and when I'm making tutorials about anything in the lab. Behind this messy desk, there's a coffee machine, which is basically as another CNC machine. It also has an instruction manual, and you have to clean up after yourself, and making a single cup of coffee is a little project. And here, yeah, there's here. Let's go to the back of the lab. So this is not yet electronics, but these two are 3D printers, and these are Formlabs. So SLA printers. SLA stands for stereolithography apparatus, which is a special kind of 3D printing technology, actually the oldest of three most popular ones, where you use photopolymer resin and you make thin layers of those, and then you use a laser beam, ultraviolet light laser beam, in order to solidify certain areas of that layer. And then you let another layer of the liquid photopolymer in, and then you solidify another layer, and the 3D object becomes. So we have two of these, so Form 2 and Form 3. And next to it, there are 2 tanks of isopropanol that you use, you're supposed to use in order to clean the prints after. So it's a bit of a messy operation, but you can get really precise prints with those. Here, yeah, there's a table that you can use for electronics assembly and some samples from the 3D printers. Then we have a whole rack of electronics components, which are mostly curated by the official Fab Academy inventory that you also can freely find online. I'll show you the links later. Here, there's a computer that's just controlling the 3D printers. There's a microscope that you can use for debugging your boards when you make them. Let's move a little bit deeper into the electronics part of it. So we have 3 electronics soldering and testing stations. So this is 1, 2, and 3, and each of those has some measurement capabilities, so a signal generator, an oscilloscope, and also variable voltage supply, digitally controllable. Then here we have all kinds of tools in here. And the most exciting part in here is the precision milling machine, Roland Modella Roland Digifab, Monofab, SRM20. And you can make things like these with the machine. And this is what we are going to do during the electronics production week. So we're gonna make a programmer that we are then going to use to program the boards that we are going to make almost every of the following weeks. Yeah, and this is the computer, obviously, that you use in order to control the machine. And in this box, you can find everything that is related to the machine, like milling bits and all kinds of Allen keys in order to open the collet of it. Okay, so I'm gonna run forward because we have only 10 minutes left. Yeah, I'm just gonna go back to main room in order so you don't get lost too much. So yeah, if you go to the left after entering the lab, so this is the woodworking room. So as you see, you have a variety of hand tools and a collection of wood screws over here, tables that you can make dirty, some leftover material that you can use for whatever purpose, and for free, by the way. And here, again, hand tools, some clamps. And at the point here, there's a blue locker that you don't see because this is an older picture. In that blue locker, you can find all the power tools that we have, including hand drills, electronic screwdrivers, jigsaws, trimmers. Here under the table is a very important component of every lab, which is the vacuum cleaner. So whenever you do something at a space like this, you usually leave dust and wood chips. So it is very, very encouraged. It's very welcome that you include at least 15 minutes of your time on top of your project time to clean up the space after you do something there. Let's go further. Let's go to the main machine room where we can see the laser cutter. So this is our laser cutter. You can cut MDF, plywood, and acrylic sheets up to 1 centimeter in thickness and not bigger than 90 by 60 centimeters in size over here. It is equipped with a safety switch, like a Fabman device, which is going to ask you every 5 minutes whether you're there. So if you're running a longer job, so laser cutters are usually the main cause why labs burn down. So you have to be very careful with it. This is why there's a sticker, stay always by the laser. So whenever you're doing something with a laser cutter, you should be always there because something might happen, like the motors can get broken randomly and then the laser beam starts burning in one point. And if a laser beam starts beaming in one point for long enough, then it can burn everything around it very easily. So yeah, but we're gonna talk about that more later. Here we have Ultimaker 3D printers, which is a yet different technology, like the FDM, the technology that you probably are most familiar with, which is basically about melting lines of plastic and putting them next to each other and on top of each other in order to achieve a 3D object. And the Ultimaker printers are great because they have the safety certificate with them. So kind of the certificate of unattended professional use, which allows us as a university to use them overnight. So if your print takes longer than 12 hours, then you probably, what you want to do probably is that you want to come to the lab, you want to set up the print, and you want to come back next day in order to pick it up and do some adjustments. So these two printers are exactly for that purpose. If you need to do smaller prints, like prints that take 15 minutes up to 4 hours, then you can use these Lalspot mini printers. They are really good. They sometimes jam. So we are getting there in order to make them more reliable, but they are really nice when they work. They're really precise. There are also bigger ones. So if with the smaller ones, you can print approximately 15 by 15 by 15, so 15 cubed volume, then with the bigger one, you can print 25 by 25 by 25 centimeters. So under it, here's a shelf with filament. We use PLA filament only because we don't have a very good ventilation system, and PLA filament is much more biodegradable than any of the other filament counterparts. So for your projects, PLA should be just fine. You'll get a batch of so-called tough PLA, which is a bit stronger than and less brittle than the regular PLA. Then we have also a roll of conductive filament if needed. Here, there's another precision milling machine, very similar to the one that I showed previously in the electronics corner. So with this, you can make wax molds. You can mill wax. You can mill also wood. You can mill pretty much like any kind of particle board, and also certain kinds of plastics. And we mostly use it for milling wax. So the main purpose is to make molds for molding and casting assignment week. But actually, like it's like mostly we are using it for PCBs actually, for the same purpose as we use the other one. And the nice thing with this machine is a bit more advanced is that it has automatic Z-axis calibration. So pretty much all the machines that I show you here, they are X, Y, Z robotic arms. So kind of actuators that are moving in X, Y, and Z directions in 3 dimensions. And usually the problematic part is to get the right Z origin. And for CNC machines like this, there's usually a tool that you can use in order to detect it automatically, so you don't have to do too much manual work as it is, for example, with the SRM20. But we're gonna get to that as well. Here, there's a computer for controlling the CNC, which, so the bigger size CNC, Recontech 1312. 1312 stands for 130 by 120 centimeters. And with this, you can make furniture and bigger objects, and also 3D milling. So it's the most advanced, serious machine and most dangerous machine in the lab, but it's also the most powerful. So when it takes some time to get into it, but once you understand all the terminology around it, it's pure fun to work with it. And we also have ATEX room, so painting room. So if you're doing something really toxic, then you can do it here because it has the fume exhaust over here. So when you're painting something with a spray paint that is not healthy, then you can activate the fume exhaust and do it here and leave it overnight. Yeah. So that's that. Next. This is slide 7, where I wanted to talk about a little bit about the pages that we are going to use throughout the course. So this is mostly relevant to the digital fabrication people, the My Courses page. So this is where we are going to track the assignments. So since it's an official course and I'm required also to give you grades, I try to use the official tool for doing that from the Aalto University. And I try to assemble a course here with assignments you have to pass, and general information tab over here, where you can find all the necessary information. So I'm going to update this with the link to this video also, and some other links. So there's a lot of information. So I'm going to change it time to time, but the main information you can find here about the lectures. So starting from the week after, there's going to be one global lecture on Wednesdays, which is being hosted by Neil Gershenfield at the MIT at the Center for Bits and Atoms, so which is the birthplace of the Fablab concept and the Fab Academy. And we are using Zoom there, so you'll need to use this link and or this ID, and the password is going to be this. And then for local lectures, which are going to be usually on Thursdays, starting from the week after the next one. And that's basically the same link that you are using now. And I am also going to keep a playlist of recordings on YouTube. Yeah, so here, like Fab Academy 2021. So I'm gonna keep a playlist of all the videos that we gonna record, like the local lecture videos that we're gonna record. I'm gonna keep them here. Probably also add a link to the relevant weeks, so everywhere where it is possible. Then we have, let's see, course documentation page. This one. So this is a page that is hosted on GitLab, which is going to be the main platform for our coursework. So we use My Courses to track our progress, but we'll use GitLab to actually make that progress visible, so to say. So the GitLab is going to be the platform that you're going to use in order to document your work. And this is a summary page generated by the repository, where you will be able to find pages for the group assignments that we will have to do. And there are links to all the students. So since Solomon and Ranjit are continuing students, they have their sites already here. And by the end of the next week, I expect that all the rest of you will have a similar link, like a similar website that your name leads to. Website and a Git repository, basically. Then here are also some other useful links. So there's also a link to My Courses page, to Fab Academy and Aalto Fablab. I think there's should be one more link. Yeah, so there's also the link to the Git repository here. Don't be afraid. So you're gonna get introduced to GitLab and what this exactly is next week. So, and you'll also use this this repository in order to submit your group assignments. Then what is the last link? Yeah, Fab Academy. So if you want to learn more about Fab Academy, and this is more relevant to the official students, which is Solomon, Ranjit, and Kittia. So there is the main page for the Fab Academy, and you can follow the schedule, the official schedule over here. Schedule. So this is kind of the official content of the Fab Academy, which includes the weekly global lectures, weekly global recitations, and then on top of that, there are going to be the things that we are doing locally, like the lectures on Thursdays, local lectures on Thursdays. All right, next one. So for next week, this is the overall schedule. So roughly, we're gonna, instead of doing 2 lecture days, next week we are going to do an intensive week from Monday to Friday with 1 hour lecture every day from 3 to 4 via Zoom using the same link as today. And for more details, you should check the My Courses page yeah, ask me more about the schedule. And I think Matti, I haven't told Matti too much about what are my plans, but if you go to the project management page over here on My Courses, so this is the layout of it and what we are going to do. So basically the goal for the next week is to get all of you familiar with the tools that, documentation tools that we are going to use throughout the course. So you will need to understand a little bit about HTML basics in order to be able to build your website. I'm sure that some of you already know enough web design so that they can use Bootstrap, or they can use HTML boilerplate, or they can use React or Angular or Vue.js or any of the new technologies. If you do, then like anyways, refreshing a little bit of HTML, it's not going to hurt. They do another critical part, command line. So some of you probably have seen this window at least once in your life, and you've been asking yourself what this is. It's actually an interface that existed before you were able to boot up into window interface on your computers. And since it's that old, it contains all kinds of useful things in it, and it's like the expert interface, so to say. So it's not so easy to master, but once you build an intuition around it, it makes your life so much easier. So we're going to cover basics of that, and also Git basics, which is version control basics. So which is going to allow you to version control your work as you go, and it's going to allow you also to connect to the repositories that we are going to be using throughout the course. Day 3 is going to be about setting up your account on GitLab. So you can actually start doing it now after the lecture. Then using a static website generator. So instead of, don't even think about WordPress. Never use WordPress. So WordPress is bad. It's bad for websites. So static website generator, it allows you to manage separate your content from the actual visual part of your website, and as an end result, it builds you a static HTML page, which looks as beautiful as any other WordPress site, but it's so much more cyber secure, since it doesn't have any dynamic parts in it. It doesn't need PHP with all its security holes in order to be usable. So it's just HTML files on a server. And Hugo is a beautiful static website generator engine, which basically comes as one file. So you might have heard about Jekyll, for example, or mkdocs, things like those. Those are usually based on package managers and tools that have a lot of dependencies, and it's just a pure dependency madness. And in order to get them running, you have to spend much more time than you need in order to get Hugo running. And lastly, in order to make your documentation shine and to make it easier for other people to open your websites and to make your websites in a way that it loads quickly on any device, you need to know a little bit about image and video optimization. So I'm going to cover a few workflows and tools how to optimize your images and videos and add them to your websites using HTML only, HTML5. And then on Thursday, Bonnie is going to tell more about what is her research about, and she's going to probably ask you to fill in a simple questionnaire about what are your expectations and motivations for this course. And she's going to do that 3 times in this semester in order to get an overview how it has been going with this academic overlay. So that's that. And what else? Slide 9. Thank you. Maybe you have any last questions before we finish?
I have a question. If next week, if you had these like extra days there that are not scheduled in Audi, like Tuesday and Friday, so I think some people might have overlapping courses in those times.
Yeah, that's why I will be recording the videos. So if you cannot join exactly at the time, do not worry. Just watch the video afterwards. And as I told, like some of you maybe have an idea about some of these things already. And you probably, you can skip 1 or 2, but the end result should be a website and in a Git repository that's called Fab Academy, so that I can link you to the summary website.
I think you, Chris, mentioned something about the diploma also.
That's an important part. Yeah. So if you're joining as a student, the university covers your local costs. But if you want to get the full diploma, so we are doing the course in a way so it's compatible with the official Fab Academy. So once you finish the courses, there's one last step that you should do. So you should contact Fab Foundation through me or directly and tell that you did this course, that you have all the documentation ready for evaluation, and that you would be ready to pay for the diploma and the global evaluation. And so that it's like 2,500 euros extra on top of this in order to get the official global evaluation and the diploma and kind of the access to all the shiny parts of the Fab Academy network and Fablab network.
Okay. I have one question. Can you hear me?
On.
Okay. So for clear sake, is there today or tomorrow any program?
No, this week I wanted you just to introduce with the things that are about to happen. We just start on Monday with HTML basics.
Yeah, and then on Wednesday that was 4 o'clock. Then Neil Gershaw.
Yes, on Wednesday after our lecture, local lecture, there's going to be the global one with introduction with Neil Gershenfield.
Okay, so great. Just that I had reserved tomorrow, but okay, that's gone then. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm also gonna try to keep you updated about the schedule as much as possible by sending you emails and adding calendar entries on top of the schedule that you can find through my courses and also the Fab Academy website. So do we have more questions?
Yes, I have a question. According to the, as you say, the global evaluation, when at least we should decide whether to participate or not?
As soon as possible. So, I mean, like whenever you feel like jumping in, so we can can do that. It's never too late.
Okay.
It's really not defined.
Okay, because I'm thinking about maybe until the middle of this semester, maybe at that time, I already know that I'm really okay. I mean, get smoothly with all this lecture, then I can decide it at that time. I mean, will be better than now. That otherwise, like if in the middle time, I'm really overwhelmed by all the stuff, and I will decide too early, that would be, yeah, more appropriate at that time, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, I think
Thank you.
that sounds like a plan.
Yeah, yeah. And as you say, so for tomorrow we don't have a lecture. We're starting from next Monday, right?
Yes, tomorrow you're encouraged to go outside and try out some skiing.
Really? I cannot.
If it's not too cold.
Really, but tomorrow is like minus 10 more. That's too crazy.
That's nothing.
Okay, maybe for you it's nothing. For me it's crazy. Yeah, and I really hope like we can get in together to the Fab Lab, like to study together, because I feel staying home it's too the cat.
Oh yeah, that's Master.
Oh, cute. Okay, yeah, I'm looking forward to study together.
I think he's getting hungry, so
to remind you.
Chris, did you mention when we might be able to get into the Fab Lab?
February. So as soon as the practical assignments start, so February 10, we have the lecture about computer-controlled cutting, so the global one. And I think that on February 11th, we could organize a lecture on site about the vinyl and laser cutting.
Oh, nice. That's nice. Okay.
All right. So any more questions?
About the group work, is it are we going to like do some projects together, or is it more like peer studying, or?
Yeah, you're gonna be supposed to. So some of the weeks, like the computer controlled cutting week, they include a part where you have to understand a little bit more about the laser cutter. So you have to measure the beam width and other properties. So how the laser power relates to engraving depth and so on. So, and these parts are usually encouraged to be done in groups. So in my courses, I'm going to assemble you in groups, and we also going to discuss them beforehand, because maybe you already have an idea with whom you want to work together. And the challenge is going to be scheduling of the machine time, but I think we're going to manage it just fine. Did it answer your question?
Yeah, okay, thanks. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's something I think we did on the Mattis intro to workshops and facilities, like doing the curve compensation and stuff based on the, or we did some really simple stuff like, but we did that all. Yeah, forget about it. But yeah, I got my answer.
All right.
I have a question.
Oh, go on.
So how about the students? How can we contact each other? Is there some participant list or email, whatever?
Yeah, it's the best place to go for it is to go on the course page in my courses, Digital Fabrication 1. There's the participants tab. I'm not sure whether you can see it as a student, just let me know. And then the second place where you can reach out is where you can, at least at the moment, you can see all the names. It's here.
Yeah.
But about the group work, there are certainly tools in my courses. So I'm just starting out with it, and that will allow you to communicate with each other during the group work.
Yeah, okay, actually we have next week all the time to figure it out.
Yeah, I'm sure you're gonna figure it out.
In my courses, you can use the forums, for example. I don't think the students, you're not able to see the participants directly, but there's a forums in my courses, and you can use that as a discussion forum, or then there can be something else if required.
Yeah, I think there's also like the announcements and general discussion. Yeah, it's called general discussion.
Yeah.
And I think this is where you can communicate with each other. Ow. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so any last questions? All right, then if you remember that you want to ask something, if something is unclear, feel free to send me an email, me or Matti. And otherwise, see you on Monday.
Thanks, Chris.
Bye.
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 Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.